What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Sinister's Horror Stash. Welcome to Primetime here on the Welcome to Primetime channel. I am joined, as always, by my main man, Hunter, the creator of Welcome to Primetime, the main man here. What's up, man? I feel like it's been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah, it's been a while. We just couldn't get the time to record, but we finally did have the time, and we are talking about 2016's Terrifier in honor of Terrifier 3 that was released last weekend. Yeah, I'm super excited. We're doing Terrifier 2 next week as well, so I'm super excited to get into that one. So this one was a very interesting movie because, like if you guys know, it was written and directed by Damien Leone. With a very, very, very micro budget. I think like $15,000, $20,000, something like that. It's a really, really grindhouse movie, and it introduced us to Art the Clown, which, in my opinion, is becoming a horror icon. You see people dressing up as him, and everywhere, kids dressing up as Art the Clown. You see he's everywhere, especially with Terrifier 3 coming out right now. I'm super excited to get.
If it tells you anything how popular Art the Clown has blown up, my son can pick out Art the Clown. He knows who he is. He can see who he is, and he's like, "Oh, is he a bad guy?" I'm like, "He's a bad guy. He's a very bad
guy." Yes, he is.
But yeah, and also we're doing this in honor of, I think, one of our favorite bands, Ice Nine Kills. Yes. They came out with a new song called
"A Work of Art." It's been stuck in my head the entire time it's been out.
Featuring David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown in it. It's a few other people there. I know there's Jose from Liquid Metal, Sirius XM's Liquid Metal. There is the original actress from the first movie. She is
Catherine Corcoran.
Who plays Dawn, right? Dawn in this one. So yeah, she is another gory death in the music video. But yeah, check that out if you have not. If you're a fan of metalcore, if you're a fan of horror.
It also has the guitarist from System of a Down, Chavo.
Chavo. Damien Leone makes an appearance at the end of it.
Tom Falcone, who is the producer of the Terrifier films, he makes an appearance at the end as well.
Yeah, so it's a great time if you're a fan of the Terrifier franchise. If you're a fan of horror in general, Ice Nine Kills is a great band to check out. Even if you're not like into the music, go see a show. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Oh, dude, I want to see them live so bad.
I highly recommend it. All right, man. So let's go ahead and talk about Terrifier. What our thoughts were coming out of the movie. What were you like thinking going into the movie? Because I know for sure I was nervous, just knowing the amount of gore that was that I was getting set for. I'm not the biggest gore person. I don't mind gore. Like one of my favorite movies from last year was When Evil Lurks. And there's some gory, disturbing, shots in that. Like there's a kid getting his brain scooped out by his mother. But yeah. It's when for me, it's when it's overly long. It just like kind of like, and just kind of like very, if it's over the top, But yeah. So knowing that, I was like, all right, temper my expectations. Like get ready for what it is. And I also heard that Terrifier 1 is not like nearly the level of Terrifier 2, so kind of gets me even more excited for Terrifier 2. But honestly, I was nervous going in, coming out. I don't love the movie, but man, art. It's art. It's really, like, this is like, I'm not gonna say it's a perfect introduction to art, but like immediately from the opening credits, I'm interested. I want to know who this guy is. I want to know what his deal is. And there are certain things about the character, like it's almost like a childlike wonder, like where it looks like he's experimenting. It looks like he's trying different things, but then he's also like very, very, how would I say,
sadistic.
He might be made fun of. He doesn't like being. He's very like when he can turn it on, he turns it on, and it's terrifying. In a different way, because like obviously like a clown is the way he looks is terrifying in and of itself and scary on and of itself, but there's a certain thing, and I saw it earlier on like a video, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty smart there's a certain he can turn it where you're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, this is not him joking around anymore.
Yeah.
He can turn it on, and that's the performance of David Howard Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way that it's shot and how cheap it is helps it a lot. And I love that
Yeah.
they continue the run throughout all three of practical effects. Even though
Mm-hmm.
it makes me uncomfortable and it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, I can appreciate what it is and enjoy it for what it is, even if I can like only do it sometimes.
Yeah. So the great thing about Damien Leone as a director is that he started off as like a visual effects artist. So he worked on a lot of different films in the blood department, in the, working on the practical effects that you would see on screen.
I can tell he
So
enjoyed it because it's
exactly, yeah. But the great thing about that is that he can take that and make it his strength by adding it to his films, and not only that, but it lowers the budget because he can do both. He can direct and he can help with the visual effects because he knows what he's doing, and it always looks good. The blood and the effects always look really good because you don't have to put tons of money into CGI when you're working on this low of a budget. You have a lot of freedom to do what you want. Sometimes it goes too far, but I think the first time I watched this movie, I did not like it. I was like it because I didn't know what the story was. Because I watched the first one right before Terrifier 2 was announced. So I was like, I want to watch Terrifier 2. The trailer seemed interesting. I went back and watched the first one. I was like, I don't like this. On this rewatch, though, I saw a lot that I love, and it's probably because of Terrifier 2, and I know where they're going with Terrifier 3, that now going back and seeing characters that are coming back, you get to see the beginning of this. Like you get to see the beginning of, Victoria, who shows up in the second one, or you get to see like all of these characters that you didn't know would have played a bigger part until Terrifier 2 came out. Um, I love the practical effects again. I think they look really, really cool. I love the death scenes. I think every death scene is very unique and very either gruesome or very, very elaborate, which we'll get into. Um, and yeah, David Howard Thornton, the things he brings to Art the Clown is this, as you said, this childlike wonder of like he can be this kind of goofy clown smiling at Tara and Don
yeah in the
in
diner
the
or
yeah in the diner,
the pizzeria.
yeah, the pizzeria, and
Yeah.
then immediately he can turn a guy's head into a jack-o'-lantern.
Like it's crazy.
And
Uh,
it's brilliant because you don't know which way he's going to go, and it keeps you on guard the entire movie because you have no idea what this clown is going to do. You know
yeah,
he's murderous, you know he's crazy, but you don't know which side you're going to get. Are you going to get, fun art who is like kind of toying with people, or are you getting the sadistic clown who's going to murder you instantly?
yeah.
It's a good way to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, like it seems like in the movie, and we'll talk about the different deaths throughout the movie. There's certain
Mm,
characters that are like he's not interested in, where he's just like, I'm just gonna kill you right away in the simplest
yeah.
way possible, and in the gruesomest way possible. And then there's him with Tara, where it's very much it seems like he has an interest in her. The
Hmm.
interest is never in Dawn. Uh, the interest is 100% in Tara, from the beginning of the film to the very
Hmm.
end. Um, and and when he's interested is when he's can I guess sometimes be the most sadistic.
Yeah.
Um, Before it's gross and you don't it's sadistic and the kills are gruesome, but a lot of times you don't like you'll see it's a very quick shot, but man, like when he's not torturing Tara, but like showing her when he's what he's doing to Dawn, like that is the way it's prolonged. It's
Hmm.
it's that's some and I'm like laughing the whole time on the way down and stuff like that's it's those kind of moments where you're like this clown is different and David Howard Thornton it's all the performance because it could come
Hmm.
off it could come off so
cheesy. Yeah.
Anybody else's hands, but it being David Howard Thornton, which I don't even know if he's been in anything else or what his.
He was the mean one in the Mean One movie.
Okay, see, I haven't seen the mean one, but I think I remember hearing that like the actor who played Terrifier or played Art was gonna be that, and that's awesome. So, and now you're hearing that now he's doing more interviews. He's talking about he wants to be the Joker, and a part of me is like, yeah, like I kind of want a sadistic, gross Joker, like the Joker that you believe would cut his face off and put it.
I don't know, a silent Joker, like a Joker like the Art the Clown would be interesting.
Interesting, like it's something different because I feel like everything. And this is not a podcast about Batman movies, but Joker, they can't figure it out after Heath. So try something different. Do something different. But let's go ahead and get into the movie. Let's go and get into the plot. We start. Go to a talk show host, Monica Brown.
I love the CRT TV that's being used at the very beginning.
Yes.
And it's like the static is coming in and out, and that's where we see Victoria.
Yes. Hold on, I think I missed something. I do want to before that because we do get I think during the credits we get the introduction of Art painting himself up.
Yeah.
Right. So, and this is like I was trying to take a couple notes. I know the first thing I wrote was where is it? Something about I know I mentioned the music. The music is, I love it. The music is amazing from the beginning. Here it is. I just love the introduction of Art and like him painting his face, and you can't really tell is he a creature, is he a person, and they do that purposefully to make sure you don't really know, because there's even a point in the movie where I'm kind of wondering, I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's like Jason.
Yeah,
where Jason starts off as a human, and then by like the 6th movie, he's this undead zombie. I think by the end of this one, going into the second one, which not to spoil the second one because you haven't seen it, but in the second one, he definitely becomes more supernatural.
Yeah.
In this one, he's more of a psychopath who's a human dressing up as a clown.
Yeah, and I've heard about like his appearance in All Hallows Eve. I've kind of especially after the music video and me watching the movie, I've been like seeing more things about like the lore of Art the Clown.
Yeah.
So I know there's more, and like it has to do with like demons and stuff. So that's interesting. But going into this, I didn't really know any of that, and so I was like trying to like figure out what it was. But I love the introduction. I love him painting his face, and while watching this, really like grotesque, and I don't want to be like disrespectful or anything, but like grotesque, like disfigured woman being interviewed on this show that is being hosted by Monica Brown, where I want to get the actress's name. Here we go, Katie McGuire. I believe I heard that she is in All Hallows Eve.
Really? Okay.
She's the babysitter in All Hallows Eve. Check out the Horror Chronicles on TikTok. I love her channel. That's where I got that.
I'm gonna have to watch that movie because I keep hearing it's pretty interesting. But yeah, so we start off on the talk show, which has a great line where Monica asked her about like, when you see your face in the mirror, what do you think? And she goes, or Victoria goes, that I don't want to live anymore. And that's kind of the sad reality of people who have like, who are attacked or who have, this kind of, mental, or not mental scar, I'm sorry, but like, physical, scarrings, especially with, how bad, Victoria's face was and like the pain that she has to go through. And then she even brings up the fact that like, kids can't look at me without, running away in fear. And you get a lot out of her performance of just like, this is somebody who has been driven crazy because of the fact that her life has been ripped away by this clown.
Yes. And and we're not gonna say what the character's name is, but the actress playing the character, Samantha Scafidi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I already said her name.
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry. I was my bad. But yeah, that is a like kind of a heartbreaking performance, and you're right. That is a harsh reality of people who have things like that, like what happened to her happen, or have horrible accidents that cause that disfigurement. Like it does suck. And then you have Victoria Brown being a bitch, like just kind of being very very off put, like very
Monica
very rude,
Brown,
and just like Monica Brown. Sorry, I said Victoria. Monica Brown, like the just kind of the that sense of entitlement, that sense of like just superiority, and just because you didn't go through a horrible thing, it's just it helps. And one thing I do like about these movies is because the kills are so grotesque and gruesome, the characters are usually pretty like shitty.
Yeah,
like you're cool with it happening, with the worst thing happening. Like I wouldn't say that Dawn is a horrible person, but
no,
she's annoying. Like I think I wrote earlier, I was like, annoying friend's annoying, but didn't deserve what she got.
That one I don't agree with, just because I don't think she's a fun free spirit character, and I think she works well off of Tara, because Tara is somebody who's like more down to earth and more just kind of reserved. I mean, it's the horror trope of you have one friend that's the straight laced, and the other one who's more sex positive, and I think that's the classic trope of horror that you're not going to get away from. But when done well, I think you can definitely tell a great story with both of those tropes.
I don't hate the character. I just one of them she has those annoying traits where you're like I'm putting myself in Tara's position, where I'm like, Tara, if I had a friend like that, where I'm like, can you stop? Like I just want to go home. Is what I meant with that. I actually like the actress and the character. Like I said, she doesn't deserve what she gets.
No, not at all.
What she gets. But yeah, so we see that Art is kind of watching in the background. While he's getting ready, he's watching this interview. After the interview is over, Monica is in is doing that thing, and then we get the grotesque gouging of the eyes.
Right off the bat too.
Yeah, right off the bat, and it's not even the first kill doesn't even come from the person you're expecting. You're expecting it to be Art, because he's on the poster. He's on the as soon as you pull it up on the. I remember it being on like when it was on Netflix. It's like that was literally the poster, that the first thing you saw, and so it's definitely a surprise. Comes out of nowhere, and then we jump to Halloween night. We have Tara and Dawn leaving a party, and they go to. I think they see Art at the car. They see him on the street.
No. So
across the street.
He's across.
Yeah, he's across the street, and Tara or Dawn waves, and Tara, is saying.
Dawn has such a funny line where she's like, "Hey." She wants your number.
Yes, and that's kind of like the piquing interest for Art, where he's like, I'm like, all right, and then I'm gonna follow him, and then they're still kind of drunk, so Tara and Dawn decide to let's go to this. There's a pizza. I think there's a pizza place like right next to where they're at. So it's like let's go to this pizza place and get some food. They're eating. Art walks in, and of course he's got his trash bag with him.
Yeah.
And he sits literally right across the aisle from them, very, very close to them. They're the only people in there besides the the owners.
The one thing I love about this is that it gives a clear setup as to why they don't just get out of there and leave. Like, they're both drunk, so of course the first thing you want to do, you don't want to get behind the wheel drunk.
Yeah.
So. And it's even Tara's, she even has a line where it's like, I'm a little buzzed, like I'm not completely drunk, but once I get food in me, something greasy, something that will calm down the alcohol, I'll be good to drive.
Yeah.
Which gives reason to be into the pizzeria.
yeah, and we've all been there. You know, we can all relate to that. So they're eating. Art walks in, sits next to them, and Dawn, of course. And this is where I'm like, this is where I put token annoying friend is annoying, and I was like, leave that clown alone.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed so hard when she came up to him and like sat in his lap and like started taking pictures with him.
Leave that clown alone. What are you doing?
The little nose boops.
Yes. So, you know, it's a fun time, but and Tara is the voice of reason. Is like, will you please stop? Like, please leave that clown alone. Finally, Dawn gets off of his lap and continues eating, and then Art walks to the first the owner comes up to him and says, "Hey, if you're not going to order, you need to get out." So then Art
very New Yorker accent right there.
Yeah, I have no idea where we might be in nowhere USA.
I'm pretty sure it's set in New Jersey, but I think it's like a fictional city in New Jersey.
I know it's Miles County. That's the
Miles County, yeah.
Miles County. Thank you, Ice Nine Kills. But yeah, so he goes to the restroom. He goes towards the back towards the restroom. You don't know really where he's going. You assume the restroom, and then some time passes. Go to the restroom. The time passes, and then the owner is throwing Art out of the pizzeria, and is just yelling at him, throws him out. And this is like where it's like Art looks human. He's literally being like dragged out by this man, and thrown out. And so you don't know what happens yet, but he's just like I know he just says like it's disgusting and this and that, and then he tells his guy that he's got to go clean the restroom.
The one thing I love though is that while Art is in the bathroom, the owner of the pizzeria is actually a human. Like he's checking on the girls to make sure that they're okay. Like he's like, I'll take care of him. I'll get him out of here. Yeah. I can see he's making you uncomfortable. Things like that. So that's one thing on the second rewatch I appreciate more because I thought when I first watched it, I was like, oh, all these characters are just assholes. They're annoying. No, like they're actually people there like in the cast that you could tell like actually care about the other people.
Yeah, like really the only person that's kind of a shitty person is Monica Brown.
Yeah.
That's really the only one. But so yeah, then he gets thrown out, and when the girls go outside, they find that their tires have been slashed, presumably by Art. And so Tara has no choice but to call her sister, Victoria. And you can tell kind of like she doesn't, obviously she doesn't want to. It's super late at night, but she calls her. Seems like Victoria is a college student. She's studying for tests.
She has a major coming up.
Yeah, she's studying late for a test, so she is kind of annoyed, but she agrees to go pick them up. While since tires are slashed, and they don't want to wait outside because they have no idea where Art went. They are sitting in the car waiting. Some time passes, and Tara has to go to the restroom. Restroom. There's a building being fumigated.
That dialogue is so funny though, because she's like, "I have to pee." Well, then go pee, and then she's like, "I can't just pop a squat in the middle of the street like you do."
Yeah, showing that they've been friends for a while. It seems like.
Yep.
Yeah, so they find that there's this building. I guess it's like close by. It's not like too far away. And this guy's fumigating, and he's about to lock it up. And Tara asks to go in real quick to go to the restroom. The guy's like, he's like, come on, man. All right, fine. And go. And because it's being fumigated, he told her hey, be careful. I'm here for pests. And she's like, oh, what, roaches? And he's like, no, rats.
Rats.
Yeah, rats. And I don't like rats either. So that was that.
I will say, I can see where people would have problems with Dawn because it seems like all she talks about is sex. And
it's token. It's exactly what you are expecting. Nothing new.
But also on the flip side, she is drunk.
Yeah, the performance is endearing.
So
That's what helps. Is like she's
yeah,
not over the top where you're like I don't like this character
yeah.
as like
Catherine Corcoran gives a really good performance for a character who's supposed to be token.
yeah, she's she's really good. Like I think she's besides Tara, she's like she probably has like what the most time or some of the most besides Art and Tara. Like she's the third. She has a lot of time in the movie.
I mean, technically Victoria, if you count the beginning.
Oh yeah, you're right. The beginning. I forgot about the beginning. But yeah, like the performance is what helps for sure. She definitely comes off as endearing. But so yeah, she goes to the restroom, and while she's in the restroom, Dawn is in the car waiting. I believe she's looking at her phone. She's she's using her phone. And then she looks in the mirror and she sees Art. Right?
No. You she hears on the radio about two guys being slaughtered at the pizzeria, and then she's scrolling through her phone to look for the picture to see if it matches the one she took the photo. That the guy that they mentioned on the radio is the same guy that she took the photo with. She realizes that it is, and she turns around and Art's sitting in the passenger seat.
Damn it. Yeah, you're right. So I skipped the part where he returned back to kill the pizzeria workers.
Yeah.
And also before Tara went to the restroom, we also were introduced to the cat lady who was carrying around a doll and calling her child, which is very off-putting.
That's the one thing I didn't like about this movie the first time or second time I watched it. I don't know why that character's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't really have a reason to be in this movie.
Well, there's a point in the movie where I was like, "Is this the disfigured woman?" Like, kind of colored hair, but she's not. We'll find that out later. Sure. So that happens, and while that's happening, we get the art attacking Dawn, and he is able to get Tara with a sedative and knock her out. What's his name? She's running. She runs back in, right? And we saw that the pest worker put on like really loud
headphones. Yeah,
and doing his thing. This was the first scare that got me when she's running. Is this where it happens?
And then Art comes up behind her and
that scare got me. 100% that scare got me. That's what I literally wrote it right here. I was like, hallway scare got me. Because I think I was expecting him to get the worker at that moment. I wasn't expecting him to.
Did we skip the Dawn death scene? Because I'm pretty sure that happens after.
Oh, is it?
No.
No, yeah, this is where because he subdues her. That's when he gets her.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, so this is when he gets her. We haven't got to the Dawn. We're not skipping the Dawns. That's it. Good transition. Tara awakens, is woken up. She's tied to a chair, and Dawn is suspended upside down, legs out in a V.
Yep.
And she is naked. You gotta have the obligatory tit shot, Randy. And Art pulls out a hacksaw and goes in the area that you don't want to go, and and this is the scene that I'm talking about where I'm like, it was just a lot. There are points where I'm like,
I get it.
We cut it, yeah, but he's going all the way because he's cutting.
You're gonna have a tough time in Terrifier 2, brother.
I know I am. I'm not ready. It's weird because I'm like, I'm not ready, but then I'm also ready because I've been watching a lot of reaction videos to a work of art, and I just want to see David Howard Thornton do his thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do, but I don't. I'm torn.
I know this scene had a lot of controversy behind it. I found it very.
I'm saying like I don't feel like there should be any controversy on this.
This scene to me was to show that show Tara that he has chosen you, and that this is going to happen to you when I get it. He's playing with his food.
Yeah, he had, like I said, he has this
Mm.
interest and in Tara. He is. I don't want to call it like an attraction, but it is like a weird like
Yeah.
kind of. I don't know. He wants to impress her, or he wants to show her like while he's doing, after he does it, he's like
he's
doing,
like ta-da.
yeah.
And to me, without that scene, and then right after Tara like breaks free, and then she starts taking the fight to Art, which I love. I love that there wasn't any time wasted. She immediately escapes and she starts taking the fight with a 2x4. She's like, you know, get up, you know, motherfucker. Like, and the good thing about it is that Art was getting his ass kicked. And if it wasn't for him just pulling out a gun out of nowhere.
See, that's the controversy that I saw, where people were like, I don't like that. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, I mean, because in that moment when he does that, because we can already get to that point, like when he does that, there's moments where he's just so like bothered by how long this is taking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you see the smile go away. The smile disappears, because the whole time he's smiling, I think he only really like frowned once inside, or he was kind of staring at them with an evil look, but it didn't feel like as demented as it is when he's just like done, where he's like, I'm not playing with you anymore.
He's over it. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do to you now.
Yeah.
Because when he shoots Tara and he sees that she's still alive, he looks so bothered. He looks annoyed. He's like, oh, like
he's like, come on. And then the great thing about it is, again, Tara is kicking his ass the entire time. It's literally because Art pulls out a gun that she wasn't expecting him to have, that he was able to kill her. And I love that, because it doesn't make, you know, Tara look dumb. She's not expecting him to have a gun. He hasn't brought out a gun this entire movie. So why would you have that in your mind? She just saw him attack her best friend. So she's in fight mode and she starts fighting. And then it's Art surprising her. It's not, you know, Art just kills her instantly, makes her look weak. It's that she wasn't expecting that gun to be there. And then even when she gets shot in the knee, she's still trying to fight. It's just she can't walk. And then Art shoots her 4 times in the head. Yeah.
It's Tara is definitely a worthy final girl, even though she didn't survive. She should have been more. She puts up. I think she puts up a much better fight than Victoria does. Like, much. But
better. I don't think, especially going into the end of Terrifier 2, which there is a post-credit scene in that one, you see why Victoria is still here.
Okay.
There's more to her story.
I'm ready to watch. I might watch this thing tomorrow.
Terrifier 2 is so good.
Because I heard it has a lot more story to it. So we get the he kills
Tara.
He kills Tara, and then he also killed Mike. He also kills the worker, the pest worker, and then the cat lady finds Art with her baby, and she's trying so hard to like make sure that he doesn't hurt the baby. She goes into mother mode and saying basically like this is that child. This is where the childlike thing where it came to my mind, where it was like it makes sense, like when she was like hugging him and he kind of like went and curled up into her like that, and you don't think that and like, oh, this is gonna end badly, but I don't think he was tricking her and like letting her guard down. I think that was real. I think that was like an actual like maybe he's never experienced like affection, so it was like him. I was like, he was getting that like the affection that he probably never even experienced it before, and then he went back to his nature, which is we find out that he rips her scalp off and is wearing her breasts.
Yeah,
and that's when he's chasing. Oh, and Victoria gets there and she starts finding everyone that she sees like the practical effect of Dawn sliced in half, just hanging there.
And that's also another controversial moment that people have is Art like wearing her skin like that, which again, I can kind of see that one. To me, didn't really have a purpose. Like, why would you put that in there?
So I think it makes more sense after like, well, I don't think it makes sense, but like from what I've heard from All Hallows Eve, is that there's a similar thing where I think it's the main character, the babysitter. He at the end of the movie, he straps her to a chair. Oh no, not the main. It's in the first because like All Hallows Eve is an anthology from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And the first one is the introduction of Art the Clown, and so at the end of it, for the first video, for the first segment, the main character in this first segment wakes up to find like she's strapped to a chair, she's strapped to a table, but she's got like her limbs are removed, and then like her breasts are removed. So it sounds like this is like an
homage to that.
Yeah, or like maybe this is like a what is it? Whenever they have when like killers have certain things that they do, I always forget what it's called.
Okay, like a signature kill.
Yeah, MO, like where the was it modus operandi, where they just have something that they do, and it just, maybe it's something that Art does. I don't know. Maybe it's because he loves women, and maybe it's just a little too much. But no, I don't know. I haven't seen the controversies. I can see why this movie would create controversy because, or these movies, because it is a lot. Like, and then from what I've heard is with Terrifier 3 that there's controversies with kid deaths, and I'm like, did y'all not watch it 2017? Like, what's going on? Because I saw a kid get his arm eaten.
And also, like,
every other
there
movie,
are other
Doctor Sleep. That has one of the. I think I mentioned it on I saw it on X where I was like, someone mentioned that like people are complaining about this, but aren't saying anything about the scene in Doctor Sleep with the baseball player. And I'm like,
I think
way more real than anything I saw in Terrifier because it's so over the top and meant to be over the top in Terrifier.
I also think it depends on story plot because the plot of Doctor Sleep does give a reason why the True Knot are attacking kids because they have a stronger shine. But in Terrifier 3, and again, I haven't seen it, if there isn't a story reason as to why Art is killing kids, then I could see why it would be more of a shock for shock value sake. So it just depends.
And that's when I say not everything's for everybody. You know?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Not everything's, and that's how I feel about, at least with this movie. I'm like, it's not for me. It's how I feel about the Saw franchise. It's not for me. I'm not the best. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I don't have to be. It's not like that. I feel like I wish more people would think like that. It's not for me. It's okay, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be for you. Because this,
I will say, I liked it more on a rewatch, and I guess as I said before, it's because I got so into Terrifier 2.
And that's what I'm hoping happens with Terrifier 2 when I watch it.
I think it will, because Terrifier 2, to me, it gives Art the Clown more of this backstory that makes it interesting to know where when you go back to this one, you start seeing a lot of stuff that would lead up to him becoming, Art the Clown in Terrifier 2 and then Terrifier 3.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get to the end of the movie. Victoria's being chased. She's about to get killed by Art, but then Mike is still alive. He comes and he knocks him out. Right? Yeah. He knocks him out, and then
so they try to call 911, and then Art recovers and kills Mike.
There it is. Yeah, that's when. Yeah, we get the death of Mike finally, and he hits Victoria with the pickup truck. Rough. Victoria is there. She's unconscious, and Art begins to destroy her face. The police show up. They shoot him a couple times, and they believe he's dead. They see that Victoria's still alive, so that obviously the ambulance is able to get her to the hospital. And Art's body is taken to the morgue, and we have the typical mortician or the morgue guy who is hungry during all this. Discussing stuff, and tell him like it's some pretty rough stuff, and he's like, it's nothing I've never seen. There at some point,
which to be fair, like I could see them doing that.
Absolutely, I from what I've heard is that's exactly how they are. Like they're just because it's so
mundane.
regular. Yeah, it's just that's their job. It's like it's anyone going to work every day and seeing it. So, some crazy stuff happens, and Art reanimates and kills the medical examiner. And then we cut to a year later. Victoria is released from the hospital, and we find out that she is a disfigured woman who has gone insane because of what Art did happen to her, what Art did to her, what happened to her, the trauma. And that is the end of our movie. We have come to the end of Terrifier. I will go ahead and give my final. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, 1 second. I do love that they dealt with trauma in a way that's very interesting, which is it's not like Laurie Strode, where it's like in Halloween 2018, where she's constantly on the offense. But with Victoria, she walked into something she wasn't expecting to walk into. In one night, she lost her sister and she lost her face. And she lost pretty much, stuff that makes her normal.
Yeah.
Normal. But like, even at the very beginning, we learn that, she is a survivor and that her life is so much more difficult because she can't just walk down the street anytime she wants anymore without, scaring people and having people run away from her. So I like that it dives more into what that could do psychologically to you. And then in Terrifier 2, you get more of that. And then I heard she's also in Terrifier 3 as well. So I hope that they just keep using her in a way to show like Art is not only just a killer clown, but he's someone who can leave mental scars throughout the entire franchise.
I love lore. I like when movies create a lore, and you're able to create a.
You're gonna love Terrifier 2, then. You're
able to create something that intrigues you, gets you interested, and doesn't make you feel like you're not like you're missing something. Like I feel like I don't know a lot of what's going on, but I'm not like that's not my problems with the movie. My problems with the movie are entirely personal. It's all entirely taste. In terms of like, that's why I will never talk trash about anyone that likes this likes this movie or loves this movie. Like, there's something here. It's not my favorite. It's not presented in my favorite way, but the things that I like are what I hear or what I look forward to or what I hear is in Terrifier 2 and is even built upon in Terrifier 3. I don't know what those things are. Don't put any spoilers in the comments because I don't want to know. I want to watch the movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, he's an icon. Like, Art is an icon. He is going to be up there with the greats. He's going to be up there. I know like people who are the OG like fans of Freddy and Jason and all that are gonna be like, no, or might not want to include him because I think it has been a while since we've had like a legit horror icon.
Yeah.
Like, an original horror icon, I would say. Not like, Pennywise is created by Stephen King and then even then, like, I love Bill Skarsgård, but he wasn't the original. Whereas like Art is exclusively Art. It's very much Robert Englund is Freddy. Like, no one else is Freddy. It feels weird when someone else is Freddy. We saw it.
Jack Earl Haley.
And I hope it never happens with Art the Clown.
I don't think it will. The great thing about Damien Leone as a person and as a director, I've been watching a lot of interviews he's been doing for the marketing for Terrifier 3, and every single time I watched him, he's always said this. He goes, I've never claimed that Art the Clown is an icon because that's not for me to decide. That's for everyone else to decide. He said, I just went in to make this character the way I wanted to make him, and now people are slowly starting to see that Art is this icon, but it's not because the director went out to make him an icon. He went out to make a movie that he wanted to make, and he got to do that, which I think is really cool when a director gets to see his vision from start to finish. And now we're 3 movies in, 4 if you want to count
All Hallows.
With Art the Clown.
Which sounds like it's interesting. Like, if anything, it adds to that lore. And that came out, I believe, I think they said, I believe the original short with Art came out in like 2008.
Yeah,
So like the look of art in that movie, I've seen the pictures, are very like
completely different.
yeah, completely different, but obviously very smaller budget. It was originally that was just the short, and then I think it was like I believe it was like 2014 when All Hallows Eve came out.
2012, I believe.
2012, yeah, it was something like that, and then that's when the other ones came. The other ones came out, and like not every single thing in All Hallows Eve revolves around art. Like I think there's a segment where there's like an alien, which is weird, but then there's like by the end of it, it all kind of connects back to art.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might that might be one that I watch too, just to like get more of that lore, because what I heard is a lot more, and then you're getting more in two. And Damien, like I said, Damien Leone, because he's doing this this is his baby. No, there's no major studio getting involved, putting their dirty hands in. And speaking of like interviews with Damien Leone, I saw one on TikTok where it was like they asked him if he was interested in doing anything with major studios or if he was only exclusive.
I saw this as well.
Yeah, right. And he mentioned that he would love to do a Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. He said he loves Halloween, but there's nothing else you can do with it. And that to me was I was like, oh, I want you to do these because the fact that he was like, I think I can do some interesting stuff with Friday and Nightmare. Obviously, he would probably have to
see what he did with Terrifier 2, diving into Supernatural. I think him doing
Friday.
a Nightmare reboot would be amazing.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, and then you're like, there's comedy in art, and there's comedy in Freddy. Like Freddy is a comedian. He's literally by 3 we hear the jokes are out there. By 3 he's doing stand up. Freddy's doing stand up, and that's what art is, but just silent and just bloody. Because it is funny sometimes. It is even in the music video for a work of art. Like he does the bass. He's
playing the bass and the small piano.
And the small piano, the trumpet, like those are all funny things that he's doing. Or whenever he's in the pizzeria and he has that real serious look, and then he goes right into the smile.
Yeah,
funny.
The big grin. And shit like that. Yeah,
like that's great.
It's so great that someone can be so expressive and kind of comedic without saying one word.
Yeah, man. Definitely. So this is one I'm actually interested in revisiting after I see Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3. Maybe I'll check out this one and see how I feel about it. Because like I said, I don't love the movie. I like it, but the reasons I like it is because of David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown, and this kind of like world that's been created where there's clearly something more. And especially, obviously, maybe if I saw this in 2016, I would have been like, this movie's dumb. Like there's no plot, there's no this. But because I know there's a second one, and knowing that it dives deeper into there's a much better story, and there's actually like a better plot, I'm excited. And this kind of like feels like if anything, like a backstory on what I'm gonna get into. It's just kind of like an extra like a little piece of art before you get maybe the real introduction of art, where it's like that.
Yeah, but also I do appreciate that this is more of just a very basic B horror movie that knows what it is, and it doesn't try to be something more than that. Like, you get the great kills, you get the entertaining Art the Clown performance, but this movie knows what it is. It's a grindhouse like B-level horror movie, and anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of those, because sometimes I don't want to think in horror. When I'm watching a horror movie, like maybe I just want to watch kills. Maybe I just want to watch Art the Clown kill people.
That's literally why I love Scream. Like I literally like every time before we're going into every time I come out of a Scream movie with my fiance, I always tell her like, what was your favorite kill? Like which one was it? Because that's what you go for, and that's what's fun. Like it's fun to turn your brain off sometimes, and just
and there's also like different types of horror.
Mhm.
So one day, maybe I throw on Terrifier 2, and then maybe I'll go and watch Hereditary and Midsommar and some of these other horror movies that have
Yeah.
messages behind them. But I don't want to watch like either one of those continuously. I like having a balance of the two.
I guess we don't really need to tell you what we're doing next week because it's pretty obvious. We're doing
Yeah.
Terrifier 2 next week. And
Did we go through our rating for this movie?
oh no, we didn't. Let's go do that.
We got off topic a little bit.
Yes, I don't even think I put my rating on Letterboxd. I'm gonna go and know that I don't like this. I don't love this movie. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. But a lot of that is art. A lot of it is art. That's why I'm like, man, I might have like Terrifier 2, even though I'm not into the gore as much, just because of art. If it goes even better, like it might be a very highly rated movie for me.
You're gonna love art or Terrifier 2 because not only do you get more art and more lore behind him, but you get a really good final girl in Sienna.
Yeah, and I think she's in the third one too, right? So
yeah,
we got a
Lauren
final
Mavera,
which I'm excited about. Oh, so I will go 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Subject to change if after I watch the series and I go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm excited for Terrifier 2. I can't wait to get to it, man.
I'm so excited for you to watch it. I would agree with 3 out of 5. I think if I had just done this on my initial rewatch, it probably would have been like a 2.5. But I think after I watched it and I noticed like how much I did like Tara as a character, how much I did like Art the Clown. The kills are fantastic. The music, again, we bring that up, is so good. And the more that we talk about like the stuff with Victoria and the stuff that, they continue her storyline from this one, it adds more stuff that I like. So on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 60% critic score and a 53 audience score, which it actually surprised me that more critics liked it than the audience liked it.
Yeah, how many reviews are there on it?
There's 25 reviews on critic and then over 1,000 on the.
That makes more sense then. Audience. Yeah, I can see that then. Not as many reviews. I'm sure Terrifier 2 had a whole bunch more reviews than Terrifier 1 did. So I'm not surprised. And like I've seen the critic score and the audience score for 3. And it's just like it just keeps going up.
It keeps rising, yeah.
Which is I'm excited to see that makes me excited to see what Damien Leone does, not only just with Terrifier, but I want to see if he does anything else. Like Damien Leone.
Terrifier 4 has already been announced.
Dang. So Damien Leone is a name. What would I like put it up there with? In terms of like I'm gonna watch whatever movies he puts out. I would say like a Fede Alvarez. A Mike Flanagan,
where
I'm like I'm gonna watch whatever they do. So yeah, man. Terrifier 2 next week.
Do you agree with the audience or the critic score more?
I'll probably agree with the audience score more.
So
like what
3?
I would eat with, 3. I think because I guess about like a little bit more than half, 58%.
Yeah, I would lean more towards the critic score.
Okay.
And that's just slightly like I'm with you. It's like 3 out of 5, but it's like I think the more I think about it, the more stuff I realize I like from it.
Yeah.
And it slowly pushes it up a little bit.
That's how I felt about Long Legs.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about Long Legs, but we'll talk about that another day.
I love Long Legs.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and get out of here, man. But go ahead and tell everybody what's coming up on Welcome to Primetime.
All right, guys. So yes, we're continuing the horror bracket series where we are going from each decade and determining what is the best horror movie. Doing bracket with that one. We are also doing the 61 days of primetime, where we do 6 movies per decade from the 30s to the 2020s for September and October. And on October 31st, we are doing a live stream where we're talking about 1978's Halloween and Hocus Pocus during a live stream. Super excited for that. We just released the 1980s yesterday. So we're working on the 90s right now, and should be done hopefully towards the start of November. We'll be ending it. So it's like the 64 days of Halloween or whatever. We've just been like backlogged a lot of episodes. But if you guys did enjoy it, please hit the like button, subscribe to Welcome to Primetime, and remember, stay scared.
Here's Johnny.